प्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रमान्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मान्यवस्थितं यतन्तो अप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यागतं तेजो जगद्भासयते अखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकं गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारायाम्यह मोजसा पूष्णामि चौषधिः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पच्चाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधं सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके चराक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्मात्यक्षरमतीतो अहं क्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदं मुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमानं स्यात् कृतकृतश्च भारत ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यानां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे पंचदशोऽध्यायः श्री पुरुषोत्तम प्राप्ति योग नामः सर्वं कृष्णार्पणमस्तु। हरे कृष्णा। Hare Krishna Mataji. So can we start the introduction?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरु महाराज की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Harita, welcoming all of you to the mid-morning japa session. I thank all of you for attending this session, and I'm sorry to interrupt your ecstatic chanting. Let us move to our next session, that is Sri Caitanya Bhagavata class. Before that, I want may I know who all have joined the call?
Mataji, we can skip introduction and we can go to Prabhupada quote and then give the call to Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, sure. So today's Prabhupada quote is August 2nd. A fish, when it is put into the land, it is unhappy or dead. Similarly, if the creature of the land, if you are put into the water, you are unhappy and dead. So, because we belong to the spiritual nature, so long we shall remain in the material nature, we must be unhappy. Vrindavan, August 2nd, 1974. By Srila Prabhupada. So once again, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa Group mid-morning session. Today we have Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji on the to speak on the call on the topic Sri Caitanya Bhagavata Madhya Kanda, second chapter 150 verse to 158 verse. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association, Mataji, today morning to enlighten on this topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata. Please take over the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Harita Mataji. Thank you for your intro. Thank you for beautifully reading the 15th chapter. And thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you for Prabhupada's quote. Thank you each and every one of you for your wonderful and kind association. Really grateful to each and every one of you. So we will start our Chaitanya Bhagavat session. Before that, we'll invoke auspiciousness by reciting Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchatattvatakam Krishna Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktāya Tad Bhaktāya Namo Namaha Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hema Bhadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadhatau sankirtanaikakipatirau kamalayatakshav Vishwambarau dvijabarau yugadharmapalau Vande jagatpriyakarau karunavatarau Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirti Stasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshvamurtir Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam Mukam Karoti Vachalum Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripahatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna. Thank you again so much for each and every one of you for joining today's session of Chaitanya Bhagavat. I bow down to each and every one of you to please shower all your blessings, your prayers so that I may speak something relevant to this subject matter and may imbibe whatever I speak in my day-to-day life. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. All assembled Vaishnavas ki jai. So we are in the Caitanya Bhagawat Madhya Kanda part 1, chapter number 2, where last time we saw that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has now become a Bhakta Bhav. With Bhakta Bhav he is, and he is now Bhavuk Nimai. He is no more Pandit, he has now become Bhavuk. He has become full of emotions, full of bhav for Krishna. And because of which he was depicting some of his emotions, like crying, rolling on the ground, sometimes laughing, sometimes getting angry, sometimes beating. So all these symptoms he was depicting, which to an ordinary person looks like the symptoms of madness. So this news spread far and wide. It went to Srila Advaitacharya. It went to all the Navadvip Vasis. Advaitacharya understood that my Lord, the Lord of my life, has now incarnated. To whom I was praying for has now come and advented and has taken his form in Navadvip. The news also went to the ears of Mother Shachi, where she, being a mother, got really concerned at what's happening to my child. And all the Navadvip Vasis were giving her many ways in which she can understand or she can cure the so-called disease, which externally look all of them to be the disease of madness. And they told him that you have to bind him up. You have to bind Nimai so that he doesn't run away, he doesn't go here and there. And then some suggested, let him drink some coconut water, so and so forth. Many remedies were suggested to Mother Shachi to give to Nimai so that Nimai can come back to his consciousness, his original consciousness. But they didn't know that Nimai is already in his original consciousness of being maddened for the love of Lord Shri Krishna. Just like Srimati Radharani, who was maddened in love for Krishna when Krishna apparently left Vrindavan, to increase that love of separation in the heart of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. In the same mood, taking the mood of Radha, taking the mood of Srimati Radharani in Radha Bhav, our dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our Nimai Pandit, has now become Bhavuk Nimai. So Mahaprabhu was at his home, and at that time Srivas Thakur, he came, and Mahaprabhu immediately went and offered his obeisances to Srivas Thakur. And at that time, Mahaprabhu was circumambulating Tulsi Maharani and watering Tulsi Maharani. But as soon as he saw Srivas Thakur, the great devotee, immediately the devotional sentiments in the heart of the Lord arose. And again, the symptoms of ecstasy started developing. His hair stood on end. He was shedding tears, body was shivering, because he could see the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. And seeing these symptoms in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srivas Thakur was so happy to behold that sight of Mahaprabhu, because he understood that this is the highest stage of devotion. But when Mother Shachi approached him, because Mother Shachi was very much concerned, and so our Nimai, Mahaprabhu was also very much concerned, because his mother was concerned. And all the Navadvip Vasis were offering different remedies to get away from this so-called madness, in which they felt that it's just an external madness. So Mahaprabhu was also concerned. And Mahaprabhu, when he regained his external consciousness, because as soon as he saw Srivas Thakur, he developed all these symptoms, but then he fainted. And as soon as he came back to his external consciousness, he told Srivas Pandit, what do you think of my behavior? Do you think I'm really mad? Because these people are telling my mother to bound me up because I've become insane. And Srivas Thakur said that this so-called insanity, if they call it as insanity, everybody wants to develop it. Even I want that so-called madness which is there in you. So I also want the same madness. And then he approached Mother Shachi and he told that don't think that your son has become mad. Actually, he has become mad for Krishna. He has developed that devotional sentiments which everyone wants to develop. And she was told that even I want to drown myself in this so-called madness that your son is having. So this way, Srivas Thakur, he consoled Mother Sachi and told her, please give up all your anxieties. Give up all these anxieties because this is not the insanity that you are thinking of. This is actually the devotion for Krishna, which so many people long for, and which even I long for, in which your son is there. Your son has been drowned in that love of Lord Shri Krishna. So this way he consoled Mother Sachi and also told her that don't tell about all these symptoms to the normal people, to the normal Navadvip Vasis who will not understand this devotion. And they will give you some or the other concocted remedies and ideas. So don't tell them, don't share with them, because such things should never be shared. So this way he consoled Mother Sachi. And finally Mother Sachi understood. But then one day what happened, that Nimai, our Mahaprabhu, he met Gadadhar Pandit. And both of them then went to the house of Advaita Acharya to see him. And that time, our dear Advaita Acharya, who is non-different from Mahavishnu, he was worshipping his Shaligram Shila with Ganga water and Tulsi leaves. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains actually that who was Advaita Acharya. So we know in the words Panchatattvatakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So this is the Panchatattva mantra that describes the 5 features of the 5 lords. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Shiladvaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivas Thakur. And in that verse, it says Bhakta Avataram. That refers to Shiladvaita Acharya. Yes, Mahavishnu himself, he came as Advaita Acharya in Chaitanya Leela. So we know that from Krishna, there are 3 supreme personalities, Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Balaram, and Srimati Radharani. From Balaram comes 4 Chaturvyuha, that is Aniruddha, Pradyumna. Actually, it is Moola Sankarshan, Mool Vasudev, Mool Aniruddha, and Mool Pradyumna. And then from Moola Sankarshan comes Narayan. From Narayan, another 4, the Chaturvyuha expands, that is Mahasankarshan, Maha-Aniruddha, Mahapradyumna, and Mahavasudev. And from Mahasankarshan comes the 3 Purusha avatars. So first comes the Mahavishnu, who is Karanadakshayi Vishnu, who is laying down on the Karana ocean, the ocean of all cause. And ocean of all cause. This material world, the cause is the 8 Ashta things, right? The 5 dhatus like earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. But these, when get transformed in the spiritual form, is the cause of the entire manifestation of the material world. So these is what is known as the cause of all causes, right? And this is actually known as the reason, the cause, but we know our Krishna is the cause of all causes. So this is the cause, this is the causal ocean on which Karanadakshayi Vishnu was lying down where he was breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And through every exhale, and exhale not only just from his nose or mouth, but from every pore of his body, he was exhaling and universes were getting manifested. And through every inhale, all the universes will get back to in his body. This Mahavishnu further expands as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who is the Paramatma of each and every universe. Every universe has its own Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And Garbhodakshaya Vishnu further expands into Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, who is the Paramatma in the heart of every living entity. So this is the whole chronological thing. But this Mahavishnu, the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, is what is Advaita Acharya, who came as Advaita Acharya in Chaitanya Leela. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his Chaitanya Leela, while describing about Advaita Acharya, mentions Mahavishnu Jagat Krita Mayaya Srijati Adaha Tasya Avatara Evaham Advaita Acharya Ishvara Advaitam Harina Advaitam Acharyam Bhakti Shanat Bhakta Avtaram Ehamtam Advaita Acharyam Ashraya. So this is actually the pranam mantra for Advaita Acharya. So whenever there is an appearance of Advaita Acharya, that normally comes in the month of February, we should try to memorize it and recite this verse. So what he's saying, that Mahavishnu Jagat Krita, that Mahavishnu who is the master of the universe, and Maya ya Srajatiya, that Srijan, Shrishti, Palan, everything that is maintained by that Mahavishnu. He creates, right? He creates through his power of Maya. That is that avatar, that Mahavishnu comes as Advaita Acharya in the Chaitanya Leela. And Advaitam Harinadvaitam, he is none other than Hari. He is non-different from Hari, but he is still Advaita. His name is Advaita. And why he is known as Acharya? Because he teaches us through his own example. He is basically the preceptor of all kinds of bhakti, the devotion. He is the preceptor of devotion. He teaches us through his example. What he teaches? Because he was praying his Shaligram Shila with tulsi water and with tulsi leaves and Ganga water. So this is the first lesson that we get to learn, that if we have the Shaligram Shila, then we should also try to worship them with tulsi leaves and Ganga water. Because Advaita Acharya, he heard tulsi dala matrena jalasya chulukinava vikrinete swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhakta vatsala. That Sri Krishna is very, very affectionate. Sri Krishna sells himself. He becomes a slave to a person, to a devotee who merely offers him a tulsi leaf and a palm full of water. So this is the lesson that we also get to learn, especially in this month when Purushottam month is going on. Whatever deities we have at home, we should offer them tulsi leaf. Tulsi leaf is very, very important in offering in the month of Kartik and especially in the month of Purushottama. Actually, every day we should offer tulsi leaves, but at least in this month we should try to make it possible. So Krishna, he basically is so affectionate to his devotees, he sells himself, he becomes slave to his devotees. And Advaita Acharya caught hold of this and he said, yes, now I'm going to worship my Narsingha Shaligram Shila with this Ganga water and tulsi leaves. And with that does this only two things that is required? No, there is much more required. So our Chaitanya Bhagawat, only in the Adi Kanda, it's been explained, Huhunkara Karaya Krishna Avashera Teje Yadhvani Brahmananda Bhedi Vaikunthate Bhaje. That our Advaita Acharya was worshipping his Shila with Ganga water and tulsi leaves, but at the same time he was roaring His heart was pouring of devotion, and he was roaring to call upon the Supreme Lord. And his roar, Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that it pierced the covering of all the universes, and it got heard, it got reached in the Vaikuntha planets, where the Supreme Lord was forced to come on the call of Advaita Acharya, because he was calling with so much heart of devotion in his heart. He was not just merely calling, he was calling with the devotion in his heart. And this is our Advaita Acharya. Sarvabhaumat Bhattacharya also writes, Omkar Garjanadi Ahoratra Sadguna Ha Krishna Radhikanath Prarthanadi Bhavanam Dhupa Kasturi Cha Chandanadilepanam Sitanath Dvaitachara Naravinda Bhajanam. So Huhunkar, he was roaring and he was calling out of his Supreme Lord. And what he was doing? He was calling out Radhikanath, he was calling out Krishna. And he was doing prarthana, he was begging and he was praying and he was telling that please incarnate, please come, because he was very much concerned on the state of Navadvipvasis. They were atheists, they were materialistic peoples, all the bhogi people were there in Navadvip at that time. Only handful of devotees were there. So Advaita Acharya was praying for all of them who were there, who were atheists. And he was praying that, Lord, only you can come and, start this Sankirtan movement so that their hearts can be cleared out of all the contamination. So Dhupa, Deepa, Kasturi, he was using arati, he was using incense, he was using lamp in worshipping his Shaligram Shila. And he was praying. That prayer is very, very important. Not just artificially doing something, but at the same time, your intense prayer in which we are doing that service is very, very important. And that's what our Advaita Acharya is teaching. Gangavari Manohari Tulsi Adi Manjari Krishna Jnana Sada Dhyana Premavari Jharjari Kripabdi Karunanath Bhavishyati Prarthana Sitanath Dvaitachara Naravinda Bhavanam. Gangavari, he was using Ganga water, yes. And he was also using Tulsi Manjari. Yes, he was using Tulsi Manjari. But was it enough? No. Krishna Gyan, he knows about Krishna. He was singing the glories of Krishna. Krishna Jnana Sada Dhyana, and he was also meditating on the glories of Krishna. But how? Premavari Jharjari, and he was incessantly crying. That was the mood of his devotion. And with that crying, with that devotion, he was praying to Lord Krishna that, O Supreme Lord, you are Kripabdhi, you are the ocean of mercy, you are ocean of Kripa. So please show your Kripa, please come. Please come. So I pray that you descend in this world and show your mercy to all these people. So this way Advaita Acharya was praying. And he was sitting and he was worshipping the Supreme Lord. And when Mahaprabhu saw this, Mahaprabhu seeing the devotion in the heart of Advaita Acharya, he fainted. And as soon as he fainted, Advaita Acharya understood that, wow, here is the Lord of my life, to whom I'm praying with so much of raw intention, devotion. This Supreme Lord has incarnated and is right in front of me. And as soon as Advaita Acharya saw Mahaprabhu fainted, he just gathered all the things. He said to himself, he said to Gadadhar Pandit, because Mahaprabhu was accompanying Gadadhar Pandit at that time. And he said, "Oh Lord, you think that you can steal yourself from me? Well, that's not possible. Yes, I know you are Chaura Agra Ganyam. You are the first class thief. You can steal everything from everybody because you have the right, you have the authority. You can do that. You are a first class thief. You are Chaura Agra Ganyam." Bilva Mangal Thakur also says, right? Nadi Braje Prasidam Navnita Chauram Gopangananam Chadukula Chauram Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami. Yes, you are a first class thief. You steal butter. You are known as butter thief. You steal the clothes of the gopis. You are known as Gopan Gananam Chadukula Chauram. You can steal everything. And not only that, Aneka Janmarjita Papa Chauram. That papa, that sin that I have accumulated very nicely and kept it as a safe deposit from lifetimes after lifetime. You come and you quickly steal that. But you cannot hide yourself from me. That's what Advaita Acharya was saying. You can do everything. You are a biggest stealer. Chaura Agra Ganyam. You are गणनों में जो उसकी सबसे ज्यादा गणना हो सकती है. Means you are the first class among all the thieves of this world. You are the first class. You are Chaura Agra Ganyam. But I bow down to you. Bilva Mangal Thakur says, Chaura Agra Ganyam Purusham Namami. I bow down to you. You can steal everything. You can steal my honor. You can steal my wealth. You can steal my opulences, you can steal my life, you can steal everything. But Bilva Mangal Thakur says, I have caught you in my heart. So from there, you cannot run away. You can run away externally to all the people in the world can know you that you are the thief and you can run away. But I have caught you with a devotion in my heart. So you cannot run now. And same Advaita Acharya is saying, that you think that you are Chauragra Ganyam and you can steal yourself, you can hide yourself from the people of this world, that you are not the Supreme Lord, but I will steal. I will steal you and show to this entire world that you are non-different from Vrajendra Nandan. You are the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. You are Krishna who has incarnated as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I will steal you. And this way Advaita Acharya started worshipping the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now. With the same ingredients which he was worshipping his Shaligram Shila, with Padya, Argya, Achmya, with all those ingredients, with sandalwood paste, with flowers, with incense, with lamp. Now he started worshipping the lotus feet of our Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was reciting this verse, Namo Mahavadannaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishna Krishna Chaitanya. Namo Brahmane, sorry, he was reciting this verse, Namo Brahmane Devaya, Go Brahmane Taya, Jagati Taya Krishna, Govindaya Namo. Please excuse me for that. So he was reciting this verse, Namo Brahmana Devaya, Go Brahmane Taya, Jagati Taya Krishna, Govindaya Namo. Because he understood that this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is my Supreme Lord. That Krishna, that Radhika Nath whom I was calling, that same Lord, that Nandan Krishna has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was repeatedly offering his obeisances. And seeing all this, Gadadhar Pandit got perplexed. And he said, what are you doing? Why you are doing this? And that too just towards like a small boy like Nimai. Why you are doing this? And Advaita Acharya said, one day you will understand. One day you will understand that this boy is not an ordinary boy. He is the Supreme Lord. Perhaps he is the Supreme Lord. And Gadadhar Pandit also thought that, yes, maybe whatever Advaita Acharya is saying is what is right. Perhaps the Supreme Lord has appeared, and Nimai is the Supreme Lord who has appeared in this Navadvip. So anyways, after that, our Vishwambar, our Nimai, he regained his consciousness, and he also felt very awkward because all that things happened. He was being worshipped by Advaita Acharya. So now what he did is that as soon as he gained his external consciousness, he started praying and offering obeisances to Advaita Acharya. Why? Because we know that Advaita Acharya was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, right? It's been mentioned that Madhavendra Puri, who is the seed of the devotional tree, actually sprouts from Madhavendra Puri. He is the seed. And Ishvara Puri, who is the spiritual master of Mahaprabhu, who is also the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, he is actually the root of that devotional tree. So Madhavendra Puri has many disciples, and out of those disciples, one was Srila Ishwari Puripad and one was Srila Advaita Acharya. And Ishwara Puripad's disciple was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just like he respects his spiritual master Srila Ishwara Puripad, he respects Advaita Acharya also, because Advaita Acharya is also like his spiritual uncle, just like his spiritual master, because both of them were disciples of Madhavendra Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shows a lot of respects to Advaita Acharya. Though Advaita Acharya mood was that I am just a servant of the Supreme Lord, I am just the Das, but Mahaprabhu considers him as his spiritual uncle. So Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes that Madhavendra Puri is the seed of the devotional tree. Ishvara Puripad is the root of the devotional tree. And Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is the trunk of the devotional tree. And from that main trunk, two main branches comes. And one branch is Advaita Acharya and another branch is Shri Nityananda Ram. And from these branches, that sub-branches comes and finally the tree grows. This is the devotional tree that is mentioned by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So this way, Mahaprabhu, considering Advaita Acharya as his spiritual guide, spiritual master, spiritual uncle, he started paying his obeisances to Advaita Acharya and took dust of the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya. And he called out, and he called him as Mahashya, and he said, "Oh Mahashya, please be merciful to me. You know that I belong to you." Yes, Krishna belongs to his devotees, but Mahaprabhu's mood was that you are my spiritual master, my spiritual uncle, and I'm just your disciple. But in the other way, we see that even Krishna becomes the commodity for his pure devotees, because Krishna sells him in hands of his pure devotees due to his brilliant quality of being Bhakta Vashyata. Right? So he says that I belong to you. And Advaita Acharya said, yes, I know you belong to me and I belong to you. Because Advaita Acharya, when he was praying, that the next lesson that we get to know is that we should also pray in the mood of Advaita Acharya. Just like Advaita Acharya was concerned about the condition of the Navadvip Vasis at that time, being so materialistic, being so atheist, and he was calling out. So we should also think that when we are in Krishna consciousness, somebody has prayed for us, like Advaita Acharya, because of which we have got this opportunity to come close to some pure sadhus and get connected to this Krishna consciousness. So similarly, in the mood of Advaita Acharya, we should also pray hard for the next generations to come, for other people, for other devotees to come and join this and understand this Krishna conscious movement, so that that Krishna who is dormant in the heart of all of them, because Krishna is present in the heart of everybody, right? So Krishna can become, who is dormant, can be now awakened, and that can only be possible through the prayers. Prayers have a lot of powers. It's only the prayers through which we can give somebody Krishna, or we can give somebody chance to come closer to Krishna. So Mahaprabhu was, when he was paying his obeisances to Advaita Acharya, he said, my life has become successful because only by your mercy I am able to chant Krishna's name. So Mahaprabhu was glorifying Advaita Acharya and Advaita Acharya was glorifying Mahaprabhu. So this is what the Sadhu Sangha is. When we glorify each other, when we give credits to each other, but not just lip deep. We just give credits heart deep. That from our heart that credit should come out. That I am nothing, I am nothing. It's because of you that I am able to speak. It's because of you that I am able to chant. And definitely this is all because of the mercy of Guru, Sadhu and Vaishnavas that we are able to do what we are able to do. Otherwise, on our own bhajan bal, our own sadhana bal, it's not possible. It's not at all possible. And that's how even Mahaprabhu was giving credit to Advaita Acharya. And our Advaita Acharya, he thought that why Mahaprabhu is doing all this? Because he considers Mahaprabhu to be his master. So now I'll share the screen and we'll see today's verse. It's from verse number 150. मने भले अद्वैता की करी भारी भूरी चोरेरा ऊपरे आगी करी अच्छी चूरी. Advaita Acharya thought, oh Mahaprabhu, why you are doing this excessively, intensively, extremely, you are praying me, right? Ki kara bhari bhuri, bhari bhuri. The word bhari in bhari bhuri means greatly, heavily, extremely. And bhuri means paying reverence, paying respect. So how expertise, you are so clever, you are so expertisingly, you are glorifying me, because Mahaprabhu was glorifying Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya is saying, you think you are very clever and you can do whatever you want. Chorera upar aage kari acha churi. I have stolen from you, but I have stolen from the thief. You think that you are very clever. So what here it means is that Advaita Acharya is saying that, oh Mahaprabhu, now you are glorifying me and you are thinking that you can steal this also from me. What can you steal? Your identity. You can steal still by offering obeisances to me, by thinking me, taking me as your spiritual master and offering obeisances to me. What do you want to show? You want to show that no, you are just an ordinary person. You are just a disciple of Srila Ishwari Puripad and you are non-different from Lord Shri Krishna. This is what you want to show. You want to steal yourself from me again, just like you are a great stealer. Everybody knows that you are a great stealer. You are the biggest of all the stealers. So can you steal your identity also from me? Well, that's not possible because I have stolen your identity from you only. You are a great thief, but I can be greater than you because Bhakt is always bada than Bhagavan. So when Bhakta comes, when there is a transcendental fight among Bhakt and Bhagavan, the Bhakta wins, the devotee wins. So he's saying that, yes, you can cleverly claim that you can steal your identity, but no, I have stolen that identity from you. I have stolen that. And now he's saying, your actual identity has manifested me. In other words, realizing that you are the Vrajendra Nandan, you are the son of Lord Shri, you are Lord Shri Krishna, you are Radhikanath, you are son of Nand Maharaj. I know your identity and I have disclosed to everyone that you are the covered fountainhead of all incarnations. You are the fountainhead. Ete chamsa kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Yes, Krishna is the Bhagavan. And that same fountainhead Krishna has incarnated as covered incarnation as Channa Avatar. Hasiya Advaita Kichu Karila Uttara Sava Haite Tumi Mora Bada Vishwambhara. Thereafter Advaita Acharya smiled and said, O Vishwambhara, to me you are greater than all. Sava Haite Tumi Mora Bada. Main janta hu, I know that you are greater of all. And you are the real Brajendra Nandan Krishna. Krishna Katha Kautake Takibe Ei Thani Nirantara Toma Yena Dekhi Bari Pani. So here Advaita Acharya is praying and he's saying, oh, this is my desire, that I wish Krishna Katha Kautake Takibe Ei Thani, that you keep on speaking Krishna Katha and may just be the listener. I may just be the listener of that Krishna Katha from your lotus mouth. And I wish that I can constantly see you, because I was praying so hard for you and now you have incarnated. Sarva Vaishnavara Icha Tomara Dekhite, Tomara Sahita Krishna Kirtana Karite. He's saying Sarva Vaishnavara, and this is not only my desire, but all the Vaishnavas' desire is that they should see you, they should chant the holy names of Krishna with you. And of course, that will manifest in Shiva's Angan later on. Advaitara Vakya Shuni Param Harishe. The Lord was so happy to hear the words of Advaita Acharya. Swikara Kariya Chali Lena Nijavas. And Swikara Karira, he accepted this, that yes, O Advaita Acharya, it's your desire and it's the desire of all the Vaishnavas to see me and chant the holy names with me. I accept it. Swikara Kariya, I accept it. And one day will come that at Shiva's Angan, we all will chant together and you all can see me and I can see all of you. Swikara Karira, he accepted, but Chalila Nijavase, but then he returned to his home. Janila Advaita Haila Prabhura Prakasha Parikshite Chalilena Shantipuravasa. Advaita Acharya also understood that the Lord has revealed himself. He understood that Prabhura Prakash, it has already been revealed now, but still he wants to test. And he says, Parikshite, I will test, still I will do pariksha of the Supreme Lord. And then thinking that, he went to Shantipur. So what was his pariksha in the mind? What he wants to test the Supreme Lord? Satyayadi Prabhu Haya Mui Haya Dasa Tabhe Mura Bandhiya Nibe Nija Pasha. That if actually you are the Supreme Lord, Satyayadi Prabhu Haya, if it is true that you are the Supreme Lord, and Mui Haya Das, and if this is also true that I am your Supreme, that you are the Supreme Lord and I am your servant, then you will bind me and you will bring me to your side and you will make sure that I also participate in your intimate pastimes in the house of Shiva's Thakur. Bandhiya means by tying with the ropes of mercy or servitorship. Till now you are thinking that I am your spiritual uncle and you'll respect me. But if you really are the Supreme Lord and I am your servant, then the day will come when you will accept this and you will bind me with the ropes of your servitorship. And we all know that pastime, that how Advaita Acharya, he started preaching the Mayavad philosophy, and when Krishna and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu came to know, they ran to Shantipur. And Mahaprabhu, when he saw that how Advaita Acharya is preaching this Mayavad philosophy to general mass of people, Mahaprabhu got really upset and he started beating Advaita Acharya, that how can you do that? And at that time, Advaita Acharya said that this is what I was longing for, to show the world that I'm not your spiritual uncle, rather I am your das, I'm your servant. And this way you will bind me with the rope of your servitorship. Advaita Chitere, last verse for I think so. Advaitera chitta bhuji bhara shakti kara yara tak shakti karane chaitanya avatar ei sabha kathaya yara nahika pratita sadhya adha patatara jana nishchita. So now our Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that who has the ability to understand the heart of Advaita Acharya? Nobody can understand. But by whose influence Lord Chaitanya incarnated? Know for certain that one who does not have faith in these topics will soon fall down. So whatever the discussions we hear, whatever the narrations we hear in Chaitanya Leela, whether it may be a Chaitanya Charitamrita or whether it may be a Chaitanya Bhagawat, we should hear it with full faith. Especially when the pastime of Advaita Acharya, when we hear that how he is teaching that Mayavad philosophy, the doubts certainly arise in the heart that why he being a devotee, he himself crying and roaring and calling out for the Supreme Lord is teaching Mayavad philosophy. Mayavad was already prevailing in Navadvip. People were atheists, people were materialistic, they were Mayavadis. Then why he has to preach that Mayavad philosophy? But we have to understand the heart of Advaita Acharya, because his heart was that he wants to prove to the world that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Vrajendra Nandan Krishna, is Radhikanath Krishna, and I am his servant. But those who don't understand, definitely everybody will not understand. Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that Advaita Chitta Bhujira Shakti Kara. Kisme Shakti hai ki wo Advaita Acharya ka hriday jaan sake? Who has that power, who can understand the heart of Advaita Acharya? No, that can only happen. Yaha Shakti Karne Chaitanya Avatar. Who can understand that because of Advaita Acharya only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is incarnated? But then he's warning that know for certain that one who does not have faith in these topics will definitely fall down. So this is very, very important that when we hear Chaitanya Charitamrita, we hear the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should be very, very careful. Because that's why Prabhupada also says, just like in the example that we saw today, that Mahaprabhu was depicting the symptoms of bhava, ecstasy. And he was not knowing what is happening because he was totally in the mood of that bhava. But to the outer world, it was looking to them as if kuch bhoot aa gaya hai Mahaprabhu ke upar. Like they were thinking that Mahaprabhu has gone mad. And that's why they were giving all those suggestions to Sachimata. So this is what happens. But Srivas Thakur, who was the pure devotee, immediately understood that this is not the madness of this world. This is the transcendental madness in which everyone wants to drown in that ocean of transcendental madness. But how can that be known? When we know about Krishna. When we hear the words, the song, the love, the song of God of Krishna. And when we know Krishna's devotees, and when we know Krishna's pastimes, only then we can understand that why Krishna has to incarnate as Bhakta Bhav in the mood of a devotee as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Prabhupada warned us that one should go step by step. One should go step by step. One should read Bhagavad Gita. One should study Bhagavad Gita, not only read like a newspaper. Rather, one should study scrutinizingly this Bhagavad Gita. And when we hear these words directly emanating from the mouth of the Supreme Lord, then we know that he is the Supreme Lord. His greatness is revealed through Bhagavad Gita. Entire Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, what he is depicting his greatness. Right? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja. Very boldly Krishna is declaring, surrender unto me. Do all your duties, surrender unto me. Mere nimit hoke karya karo. Whatever you want to do, just surrender unto me. That work also should be done for my pleasure. And then from Bhagavad Gita, when we move to Bhagavatam, then we know that, wow, this is Krishna. Our Krishna is not something impersonal, not some light, some energy, but he has a personal form. He has the beautiful qualities. He has a beautiful form. And one of his beautiful qualities is that he is Bhakta Vashyata, that he becomes, he surrenders to the will of the devotee. When we read those pastimes in the 10th canto of Krishna, then what we get to know? We get to know the sweetness of Krishna. And through the end of Bhagavatam, we get to know that when Krishna comes to know that, yes, I have shown my greatness, I have shown my sweetness, but I have not walked my talk. Right? Sitting on a chair, I have declared that this is to be done, this is ought to be done. And yes, and through Bhagavatam, I've shown my sweetness also. But practically, I have not. I have not shown them how to surrender to me. Just like a teacher, if she keeps on writing on the blackboard, sit on the chair and say, write A, write B, write C. Or maybe on the blackboard, she can just write A, B, C. The child will not understand. The child will know what is A, what is B, what is C, but will not be able to write unless and until teacher hold the hand of that infant, that small little boy who has not even started writing. And through holding the hand of the child, when the teacher writes A, then the child knows, okay, I have to move my pencil from this place to this place, and this is how the word A comes. This is what B comes. So the teacher holds the hand of a child, comes to the level of that child, and then teaches the child how to write A, B, and C. Similarly, Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us that this is how you have to surrender. This is how, when I say surrender unto me, this is what I mean. Because now I am myself is following that process. And when I follow the process and you follow my footsteps, you will reach the highest destination. So this is how Mahaprabhu teaches us, and this is what is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Therefore, Prabhupada says Chaitanya Charitamrita is the PhD level. Because first you have to understand the greatness of the Supreme Lord, then the sweetness of the Supreme Lord, and then only you will come to know that the Supreme Lord is not talking, but also teaching us by walking himself on that path. And therefore we should read Chaitanya Charitamrita with full faith, with full devotion, not even doubting, not even having an iota of doubt in our heart that, well, this is just a myth, or how can it be possible? How can it be possible? With our materialistic, contaminated mind, we will never be able to understand. Never, ever be able to understand. But when we transcend that modes, when we go beyond all those modes, then we will be able to understand, oh yes, this is what is my Mahaprabhu. This is the magnanimity. This is the munificent nature of my Mahaprabhu. Just like Harita Mataji was reading a quote of Srila Prabhupada today, that our original identity is not here. This place has already been declared as Dukkhalayam. So what can we expect is Dukkha. Just like the fish in the water, Prabhupada gives this analogy in today's quote. The fish in the water will be happy because fish is the animal of that water. The moment the fish is out, the fish dies because it's external for the fish. It's foreign land for the fish. Similarly, our identity, though we are marginal, we are Tatastha Shakti, but our original is coming from internal Shakti. See, we know Krishna has internal Shakti and external Shakti. That is internal energy and external energy. That is Bahiranga Shakti and Antaranga Shakti. Yes, jivas are Tatastha Shakti. But from where this Tatastha? Tatastha means at Tat, sometimes in water and sometimes in land. On its own, that Tata doesn't have its own identity. Right? It has to be sometimes on land and sometimes in water. When the tsunami or the tides come, then the same land is covered by water. But when there is no such tides, no such things, then the water moves back and the same place comes under the area of land. That is what Tata is. That is what the condition of Jiva is. So we are originally from the internal potency, from the Antaranga Shakti of Krishna. From there we have come, from that offshoot of Tatastha Shakti has happened from internal Shakti. So our Swarup is related to that Antaranga Shakti. Till the time we are thinking ourselves or taking ourselves to be this body, we are connecting ourselves to the land. We are connecting ourselves to the Maya Shakti. And when we are in Maya, how can we understand something which is spirit? We cannot, right? So therefore, Mahaprabhu is saying Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vrindavan Das Thakur, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that with this material contamination, it will be very hard to understand Chaitanya Charitamrita. So develop that mood, develop that bhav, only then we will be able to understand Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shruyatam Shruyatam Nityam, Giyatam Giyatam Muda, Chintatam Chintatam Bhaktam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is how we should read Chaitanya. This is how we should study. I'll not use the word read. Reading is just like a newspaper. You read and you forget. No, this is not the mood. The mood of all these books is that we have to scrutinizingly read it, imbibe it in our own life. Shruyatam Shruyatam Nityam. Nityam, not today I read, tomorrow I'll forget. Daily make it a habit that we should read the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like we read through Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are reading Chaitanya Bhagawat, and Krishna willing, then we can start with Chaitanya Mangal also by Lochan Das Thakur. So this way, if we drown ourselves in Chaitanya Charitamrita, then that is what is needed. Shruyatam Shruyatam Nityam. We should hear it again and again, again and again. Last Friday also we discussed the verse Gauranga Dviti Pada. Right? That verse, it says, Gauranga Madhuri Leela Jara Karne Praveshila Hridaya Nirmala Bhelotar. That as soon as Gauranga Madhuri Leela enters into the heart of a devotee, enters into the ears, Jar Karna Pravesh Leela. As soon as it enters into the ear, and through ears it goes into the heart. And what happened? Hridaya Nirmala Bhelota. Nirmala. Mala means contamination. But that heart becomes free of all contaminations. As soon as the pastimes of Chaitanya Charitamrita goes inside. Yan Nam Shruti Matrena Puvana Bhavati Nirmala. As soon as the holy name enters into the heart, Yan Nam Shruti Matrena. Sirf Naam sunne se hi. Human Bhavati Nirmala. Immediately that person becomes purified. So it's so important that if we Shruyatam Nityam, if we keep on hearing about the pastimes of Krishna, pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then what happened? Our heart will become pure. Pravishta Karna Randherana, Swanam Bhava Saroram, Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna, Shailasya Yathashrat. That Pravishta Karna Randhera, as soon as the pastimes of the Supreme Lord enters into the Karna, into the heart, ears of the devotee, then what happened? Swayam Bhava Saroruham. Immediately the lotus in the heart, it gets bloomed in the heart of that devotee. And then Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. And Krishna personally comes and sits on that lotus in the heart of the devotee. And what he does he sit idle? No. There also Krishna does a job. That job of a washerman. Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. All the amal, all the mala that is there in the heart of a devotee, like lust, anger, greed, mad, matsarim, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mad, Matsarya, whatever the contamination is there, Krishna himself personally cleanses it by sitting on the lotus of that throne. Why the lotus has bloomed? Because Pravishta Karna Randhera, through the holes of years that pastimes of Krishna has entered. And when it has entered, it didn't come out from the another ear. Rather, it entered into the heart. That time, the lotus in the heart gets bloom and Krishna takes his residence. And there also Krishna washes. And the analogy is given, Shailasya Yathasharat, that just like in the autumn season. So what happened in the rainy season? Everything becomes muddy. Even the water becomes muddy, the plants, everything becomes so dirty because of that rainy season. But when the rain seasons get finished and when the autumn starts, then in that autumn, that one same rain, the rain which was there during the rainy season had made everything muddy. But in the autumn season, that one rain that comes, it cleanses everybody. All the leaves, the plants gets washed. The water becomes pure, and the leaves, everything starts looking green again because the mud has been washed. So just like one rain in the autumn season cleanses everything, similarly, when we hear the pastimes of Krishna, Krishna personally comes, Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna, personally comes and washes away. Therefore, our Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that one should always Shruyatam Nityam, that one should always hear. And then only hearing will help? No. Giyatam Muda. Then one should always sing also the glories of Krishna and give it to others. And how? Happily, Muda, very, very pleasurably. Chintatam bhaktas. And not only just hear and sing, but also meditate. Meditate on the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These pastimes are not the pastimes of an ordinary person. These pastimes are the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So meditate on those pastimes. And this is what is Chaitanya Charitamritam. So very beautiful verse. And this is what is also being told to us in today's verse, where Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that know for certain that one who does not have faith in these topics will soon fall down. So we should have faith in these topics, and we should hear it with full concentration and with full devotion in our heart. Very important. Our devotion should be right. Even if some doubts come, the intention should be not to doubt about the pastime, but the intention should be how I can understand and how I can clarify that doubt. That intention should be very, very important. That intention is very important. That we should have that right intention. Doubts might come. It's natural. We have not become the Param Bhakta that immediately when we read about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or hear about the pastimes, the doubt won't come. The doubt might come, but that doubt should be clarified with the right intention, not to challenge, but to understand that how this happened, why this happened, and how I can get myself purified. Then there is definitely no fall down. So we will stop here. Thank you all so much. It's already 12:05. Thank you all so much. We'll stop. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Bhagawat ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, what an amazing class, Mataji. Very, very fortunate to be actually able to listen. I missed some parts of it, so I will go back and hear again. But dear devotees, if anyone has any questions or realizations, please go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask Mataji.
Thank you so much for such a fabulous class. All about Advaita Acharya. It was so glorious to hear. Thank you so much, Mataji. Your involvement in delivering the class was so nice. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Thank you, Indulekha Mataji. And yes, Darshini Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glory Shri Prabhupada. Mataji, I really loved today's class. It was like, it was crash course pack of all that you had learned today. It was like, the whole thing put up in a complete crux. So it's just reflecting on few things on, when you were telling that it's important for us to pray for others also, just like how we have come in. We should pray that others also get to this moment. And I was actually thinking there was that one person who gave us also the books. There was that one person who told us also to chant. There was one person who assured us that, this will give you happiness. There was one person who told us that there's no happiness in this world. And if not for that one person, if that one person also thought, why should I tell this person may not do it. This person will not do it. If they thought like that today, we won't be here. So I was just reflecting on that, maybe that person may not come to whomever we are recommending this process. But there are chances that out of the 100 people whom we are telling, maybe 2 or 3 may come, at least one may come. So why take a chance? We just give it to everyone. Whoever wants to take it, takes it. Whoever does not want to take it, we pray for them. So I was just reflecting on that.
Yeah, one thing that, Mataji, when we say that, let me preach to 100 or let me tell about Krishna to 100 people, maybe one will come. The thing is that all 100 will come. Maybe we will not be there to see that how many came, but trust me, all 100 will come. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Our duty is to tell everybody about Krishna. We may think that, okay, I told this to 100 people, only one came. 99 will come. Maybe I will not be there to see. We will not be there to see, but those 99 will also come, because Krishna, one who knows about Krishna, Krishna will catch hold of them. And then Krishna will make sure that they will come. It's just a matter of time. So that is, we have to understand that we should not be disheartened. All 100 will come. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, Mataji. And maybe it is also possible that in our previous lives also someone told us and we took it lightly. But Krishna gave us this opportunity again.
Yes. We don't know how many people prayed for us. We see only one person as our Pad Pradarshak Guru, who maybe showed us path and we somehow hear to them and we followed the process. But we don't know how many of them must have prayed for us. Right? So this is very important.
Yes, Mataji. And also I was reflecting on the scenario when actually Mahaprabhu was in Bhava Vesh and Prema Vesh. People around him were actually taking him for granted, right? To people whom he was like very familiar with, they were taking him for granted and telling, give this medicine, give that medicine. And I was also reflecting on this, that we should not take people for granted, like, especially in now at this point of time, we have ISKCON and we have so many devotees. We should not take anyone for granted. We don't know, it may be our, last talk with them. It may be our last meeting with them. We may never be able to chant with them again. We may be never able to hear from them again. We may be never able to share with them again. We may not be able to do Sankirtan with them again. So we should not take anyone for granted. We don't know, that person may, just go back home back to Godhead in some time, and we may not get a chance to associate with them again. So we should not take anyone for granted. So I was reflecting on that. And also the fact of
not only Mataji, but we should not even think, oh, this person has just joined Krishna consciousness, is very much junior to me. We don't know that who that person is and what that person is carrying from his previous lives. Right? This also we should try to understand. If a person is of 20 years old and we are 50 years old, we cannot say, well, you are just 20 years old. We don't know that right now you are at 20 years old, but maybe your Krishna consciousness may be much more beyond than a 50-year-old person. Maybe that 20-year-old person may have this lifetime as the last life and go back home, back to God, and the 50-year-old may be just struggling for many more lifetimes. So not only granted, but we should also not misunderstand another devotee. They may appear to us that they have just started, but where they will go, we don't know. So that is very important. All the people, they took Mahaprabhu also for granted, but they also misunderstood him. They misunderstood his madness to be the material madness. So we should not try to do that. We should always think, and that is the quality of Uttama Bhakta that is being described in Srimad Bhagavatam, that Uttama Bhakta always thinks that all others are Uttama, I am the only Adhama. And it's not just thinking, it's just meaning it. That yes, everybody is a pure devotee, I am not a pure devotee. Go ahead, Madhya.
Yeah, like from whatever you told now, I was also thinking that, sometimes if we ever feel that, usually we don't feel, but if we ever feel that, I'm doing bhakti from such a long time, we should take a pause and think of Dhruv Maharaj example, Prahlad Maharaj example. They got Krishna in Dhruv Maharaj got Krishna in 6.5 months, 6 months, and Prahlad Maharaj saw Narsingdev when he was 5 years old. We are doing from so many years and we are not seeing anything. We are not having any darshan. So that should be a checkpoint for us to know that, we are not in the, we are not in that level where, we should be proud of ourselves. And once you see Krishna, you'll never be proud of yourself. You'll be, in complete separation. But still, if we ever feel that, we should always remember these examples of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahalad Maharaj also. And also one point I was reflecting on was, although like there were so many people around Mahaprabhu, only the pure devotees could sense that he is Krishna, right? The others could not sense that he is Krishna. The others could not sense that he is God. He is in Prem. So I was also thinking that until and unless we get the kripa of Guru, the kripa of our entire parampara of Krishna also, until and unless we develop that pure devotion to Krishna, even if Krishna is in front of us, we'll not be able to see him. Others may be able to see him and we may think that others are wrong.
Yeah.
We may think that others are wrong, but we may not be able to see him and we may think that others are wrong, and at last we'll end up nowhere.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking it's so important to, completely believe and also build that pure devotion to Krishna. Even if we are not there, I was reading this in a purport that, Srila Prabhupada was telling that, if you're not a pure devotee, at least follow a pure devotee, that pureness will come into you. So I was reflecting on that.
Very true. Yasya deve parabhaktir tatha deve tatha guru. Yasyaitha kahitai artha prakashante mahatmana. Only to the great souls, by the mercy of Krishna and by the mercy of the spiritual master, everything will be revealed. If Krishna wants to hide, he will hide. He is the biggest stealer, right? He can hide his identity, but he cannot hide in the identity, his identity towards his pure devotees. Because pure devotees, Krishna himself reveals because of his mercy. Yeah, very true, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for always sharing your beautiful realizations. It also helps me to think more deeply into all these things. Thank you, Mataji.
No, Mataji, it's only, the inspiration that Nita and Shachinandan Gaurhari gives me, and all of you Vaishnavas. I really love coming here. There's so much of positivity. The next time when I sit for japa, although I may sit alone because my family, they are not devotees, but still that meditation of the previous night always stays with me. It's like so strong. And sometimes, even if the class is, on based on very basic things that we have heard already, but still the energy, the sadhana that the person has done who comes and speaks, and all the people who come and attend, that itself is a very great energy, and it brings a lot of more realizations. So I really thank all the organizers also of the call, that thank you so much for keeping all the classes free of cost also, because there's so much content. There's so much content on Bhakti Sangha Japa. So thank you so much, Mataji.
Das Kaviraj Goswami, Vrindavan Das Thakur, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, they didn't charge anything. So who are we? Therefore, Bhakti Sangha is always there for everybody. Everybody can come and everybody can hear. The only thing is that we want the sincerity. Join every day like you are sincere. It's because of your sincerity only these realizations are coming, Madhuri. So that's the only price that as a Bhakti Sangha, one of the organizer of Bhakti Sangha, I expect, and all I'm pretty sure everybody expect, that this is the only price. That please show your sincerity. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. It's only because of this that I could talk with you, converse with you, and when I have any doubts, I can text you. I still have this at the side that, if something happens, I can still text Mataji. So thank you so much, Mataji.
Everybody of us are available, Mataji. You can talk to any one of us. Yes, Anita Mataji.
Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Mataji. I just want to pay my koti dandavats at your lotus feet. How beautifully you take the class. Advaita Acharya's incident, we have heard many times, but still, the way you narrated, it was like I'm seeing that in front of me. So that was really very nice. It just woke me up to see that instant, how Mahaprabhu is there, how Advaita Acharya is there, how all the devotees are considering Mahaprabhu. It was really wonderful, Mataji. Thank you so much for that, first of all. And you were saying that since Advaita Acharya has prayed and Lord has descended, and same way there are many. There might have been many prayers for us also to come into this process. So can you just elaborate on that, Mataji? I just understood a bit of that, but still I want a deep understanding of that, how we have come because of others' prayers.
Just like we were talking about that, how Advaita Acharya, he prayed for everybody in the Navadvip. They were all kinds of people. They were atheists, they were materialistic people, they were Mayavadis. He didn't differentiate it. He saw Krishna in the heart of everybody. And he was thinking that how just coming in the contact of material world, they have become contaminated. He prayed. So he has the mood of what? Para dukkha dukhi. Para dukkha dukhi is the mood that Advaita Acharya was carrying, that his heart was burning, seeing others not following Krishna consciousness. So the same mood of Advaita Acharya, we were talking about that how if when we are in Krishna consciousness, we should also think that somebody in the past, in the mood of Advaita Acharya, has prayed for us, was para dukkha dukhi, seeing us in the materialistic world, enjoying in this material, having that bhoga pravritti in this material world. Somebody's heart was crying seeing us, enjoying in this world. Therefore, somebody in the past has developed that mood of Advaita Acharya and prayed for us, and because of which we are here. Therefore, we should also follow the same legacy, that we should also see para dukkha dukhi. We should also see the dukh in others. We should also see that how they are simply enjoying their life just for their sense gratification, and try to pray in the same mood that Advaita Acharya prayed. We should also pray for them. Oh Krishna, please deliver this soul. Please, this soul doesn't know what they are doing. Just like Haridas Thakur, though he was being beaten up by those Yavana soldiers in 22 marketplaces, but still what he was doing, was he cursing them? No. Tiraskrita vipralabdha shapta shipta hatapi nasya tat pratikurvanti tadbhava bhavitami. That this is how the devotee is, even though that devotee is tiraskrita, vipralabdha, shapta, shipta, even cursed, beaten, done so wrong, but still the devotee prays for others. That Haridas Thakur was praying for those Yavana soldiers that, oh Krishna, they don't know what they are doing. So please forgive them and bring them closer to Krishna. Nitai, when approached Jagai and Madai, he was being beaten up, hit by Madai, started bleeding, but still was begging in this mood only that please chant Krishna's name. Bhajo Krishna, bolo Krishna, kaho Krishna naam. He was still requesting them that please chant Krishna. Consider Krishna as your Mata, Krishna as your Pita, Krishna as your Pranadhan. Why? Because he was seeing that dukh, that how they are intoxicated, how they are simply absorbed, drowned in sense gratification. So in the mood of Advaita Acharya, in the mood of Nityananda, that we should also pray for others. We also came by somebody's prayer, follow the same legacy, pray for others, so that everybody can become Krishna conscious. Hope it helps, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Harikam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. That was very beautiful, beautiful class, Mataji. I had some doubts which are already cleared by your discussion with Darshini Mataji and Anita Mataji. Very nice realizations from both Matajis and very nice explanation by you, Mataji. Thanks a lot for, I really agree with Darshini Mataji that Bhakti Sangha has brought a lot of positivity in all the devotees' lives, Mataji. Every day when we come and listen to these classes, it gives us a lot of positive energy to at least not to get deviated from this path. So thanks for all the speakers in Bhagavatam class and Chaitanya Charitamrita class and all the classes that are going on Bhakti Sangha, and to all the speakers who take so much of time to enlighten us. My humble obeisances to all of you, Mataji. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Harita Mataji.
Mataji, one.
Just a platform. Bhakti Sangha is just a platform which is providing, but all it depends upon our own sincerity, how much we can avail, right? It all depends upon the person. Yes, Bhakti Sangha is providing, being on a platform, it's providing an opportunity It's very good. But at the same time, we should also show our sincerity in it. Just like
Yes, ma'am.
teacher teaches a class of 50 students, but only one excels. Why?
Yes.
Because that one person shows uttermost sincerity in the words of the teachers. So therefore, that one person excels. But the teacher is teaching everybody same thing to rest of the 49 students also. But because they were not sincere, they don't understand that this is the time of urgency. They became complacent and therefore they were not able to excel. So it's both the ways, Mataji. Yes, Bhakti Sangha is glorious. Definitely, it's the team effort. You all are part of Bhakti Sangha. Some are working in front hand, some are in back hand. And just by showing your presence also, you are participating in this platform. But ultimately, everything rests on your own sincerity and our own sincerity, that how sincere we are and how much eagerness and urgency we have to hear these messages.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, and thanks for giving that recap of recap about how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes into ecstasy, and then how Advaita Acharya realizes that Mahaprabhu has taken a birth on this earth, and now it's time that we get together, and and how Srivas Thakur explains Shashi Mata that don't get into anxiety, and this is what is the mood of a great devotee. Thanks a lot, Mataji, for making us recollect everything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. One last minute question, if you have time, can I ask?
Yes, Mataji.
So Mataji, I understood like about the prayers you were saying. So just correct me if I'm wrong. Lord has told in Bhagavad Gita that wherever we have left the devotional practice, we will start from there in the next life, right? So that means the prayers of others has imposed us to do the devotional practice in one life, and the same is continuing for the other lives also. Is that right, Mataji?
Mataji, prayers accelerate the process.
Sorry?
Just to put in one line, prayers accelerate the process.
Okay.
When we stop at 20, we'll start at 21 only. If we stop at 50, we'll start at 51% only. 20% we have done. Next life, 21 will start from 21st, because Swalpam.
So that one where we have started, maybe in previous lives we have not done, and in one lifetime we have took the devotional practice. So that is because of the prayers. That is right.
Yeah, everything
because that is continuing for other lifetime also.
Exactly. Other lifetime also it is continuing. That's what I'm giving you the example. That if in the first lifetime I have done 20% of my Krishna consciousness, that 20% will not lost. Next lifetime, start with 21. But that 21% that I will start will also accelerate. Means I will start at a very early stage only by the prayer.
Okay.
Accelerates the process. Prayers always accelerates the process.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Karpavagali Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for the wonderful class. Thank you, Dandavat. Mataji, one this thing, the tree you told no, Mother, root is Mavindrapuri and Ishwarapuri, and then the branch.
Seed. The seed of devotion, jo beej hota hai, seed. Seed is Madhave. And from that seed fructifies, when the seed fructifies, the roots that grows, they are Ishvara Puripar, represented as Puripar. And when it comes offshoot, means the shoot part, above the ground, it comes as a tree. So that trunk is Mahaprabhu. And from that main trunk, the two side branches come. One is Advaita Acharya, one is Nityananda Prabhu. And these two main branches then grows into further sub-branches.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the beautiful song, Mataji. That is also very nice, Mataji, of your song. First you initial sang. And the other thing, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only made us to write, and that ABCD you told her, that was also very nice. Thank you, Mataji. I am also, as you're as you told, I am also praying earnestly to all my people surrounding me to worship the Lord and become devotees. I also pray God that at least one person I should tell daily, or one person to become a devotee in my lifetime. So daily I should talk something about the glories of the Guru and Gauranga. Thank you, Madhya.
Very nice.
Thank
Very nice.
Thank you, Mataji, for all your associations of the Bhakti Sangha, because we can learn more and we can associate more. And by this association, we are leading to the path of righteousness, and we are climbing up step by step to Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Kanda.
Says that those who preach my words, my things, they become very dear to me. So yes, when we preach, also purifying our own selves and also giving the chance for others an opportunity to follow this Krishna consciousness. It's both the way process. We are also purified and we are giving the opportunity to others also. So definitely Krishna, we become very dear to Krishna. Krishna says, right? These are words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So,
thank you. Thank you, Kanda.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji, you can take it.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If anybody has any more questions, please go ahead.
No questions, Mataji. Just wanted Mataji to speak more on this topic of Bhagawat.
Already I'm speaking once in a week, Mataji.
Each and every answer is just so spot on, Mataji. It's just amazing to hear those answers. As I got goosebumps literally when you were saying, oh, all the 100 people would become devotees.
I'm not saying this, Mataji. These are the words of our acharyas. They say that everybody will come. It's just a matter of time. We will not be there to see them.
Yes, only time separates. So from that. Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. These answers are just brilliant. So thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If there are no other questions, we can end the call. Manchataspatirubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Sri Chaitanya.
Sri Chaitanya Bhagawat.
Sri Chaitanya Bhagawat ki jai.
Bhagavad is also
Kirtida Sundari Mataji
Okay.
ki
Ki
jai.
jai. Thank you so much,
Haribol.
Mataji.